Hi everyone, it's Pedro from Pythonista. I have some videos that I recorded a time ago from an old channel that I had, or I still have, and I had a fair bit of live views on those videos. And I think that there may be some videos of interest. So what I'm doing, I'm just like reposting those videos in this channel so that you can have access. But before you start the video, please, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and don't forget to like the video so more people can watch it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it. So this video is about a Django just integration. If you wanted to build a Django application and you want to upload files to your application, but you don't want to save that file in your server. Instead, you would like to save that into a data lake or a Azure storage. So that's a good option, and I'm gonna go through step by step, just like the front end and the back end of the application using Django, and how you can upload those files to a Azure storage. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hello everyone. So this is going to be a demo on how to upload and download files to Azure. And then I'm using a Django application. So let me just explain why I'm going to use Azure instead of like a Django backend. And the question here is, why would you want to store in a blob storage or object store instead of your backend server? Because Django offers a facility to conveniently store files in the server in a folder. However, I always prefer to store this in an object store in the cloud, preferably. That's decoupled from your application server. And there are some reasons for that. One, it's cheaper, so then it's stored on your server. You have much more portability if you wanted to just change the back end or the front end. Your data is kind of stored in a separate place. And I didn't put here, but I wouldn't like to put that into a database. It's much easier to just upload to a blob. You'll see it. Like portability and also scalability, because the cost and the amount of storage that you can have in Azure is much bigger. So I'm going to do a live code session, but I'm not going to go through every single thing, every setup, the templates, the HTML. So I've got a starting template here that I'll leave in this repo here in a branch, and also I'll have like a master where it's the final version. And there's a lot of setup that I've done here, and there are some instructions here how you can download and run on your machine, set up your virtual environment, also how to set up like your secrets, your Azure secrets as your environment variables. Yeah, this is can be a length subject. I'm just going to refer to this YouTube channel where it explains very well that part. And also there is how to set up your environment variables in Django, which you can do, and also migrate the database. Everything here is well explained. I'm going to start from here. So I'm just gonna do a quick run through how I wired up. So I have like here the final version. So I'm just gonna demo quickly. So the way it works is I'm gonna have like an upload file page where I can upload file, and actually, I'm going to send the file to Azure, but I'm going to record the metadata of where the file is stored, the file name, and also have a flag like if the file is deleted or not. And I'm going to use that in the logic of the application. So I'm just gonna run, I'm here on my master where I've got the final version. I'm gonna run this server here, which is Python manage, and then run server. So that's a development server. So I'm just gonna go to the web page. So I've got like a simple menu here where I have like upload and list files. At the moment I've got no files to list, but if I go and upload, so I'll have like this database. At the moment I was doing some testing earlier, yesterday. These are all deleted, so they will not show here on the list because they are deleted. So, but if I upload a file, they will be stored here. At the moment, these are the two files that has been soft deleted, but I still keep the file here in database. So I also have, I'm just gonna go to, yeah, these are the three files that I'm gonna play around with. I've got a picture and two PDFs. So let's do a quick demo then. So if I go here, choose. At the moment, the final code, it does only allow PDF and doc files, like Word documents. If I try to upload like a photo, just gonna here and upload, it's gonna be JPEG not allowed, only accept PDF, doc, and docx. So, and then I'm gonna go and then choose, let's say, I'm just gonna go this Python cheat sheet, PDF, and then if I go upload, it's gonna upload, and then it's gonna flash a message, Python cheat sheet PDF was successfully uploaded. If I go here in my Azure, the file is here. That's going to be this one. So I can download and show you. So that's the file. And I also named the file like a unique identifier instead of line naming as the file name. And then I have got in my database here, so the metadata of the original file name and which URL that file is stored, and also if it's deleted or not. At the moment it's not deleted, so it's flagged as 0. That's why when I go to my application in list files, the file is here. And then I have two buttons. I can either download, and then that will download the file. You see it? I can open here. And after that, if I don't want the file anymore, I just go delete. Right? So what I'm gonna do now is where I am now. Oops. I'm going to stop my server. 1 second. And then I'm going to switch to my other branch, which is, on this branch here, I've got my to-dos. So I'm just gonna again start the server, but by this time around, it doesn't work. So if I put list files or upload file, and then I choose a file, nothing's going to work. So because I haven't implemented, and then we're going to go do it together. So in my application, I'm going to write with you the upload list files and download files and delete files views. And also I create this module called Azure File Controller, where I've already written like how to create the blob client to deal with Azure and all the authentication and authorization that I need to deal with, that I'm not going to dive into this video. I can do in another video if you want, or you can go to the resource that I put on my GitHub. So, and then I template and then my to-do that I have to write to implement those functions. But I'll start with the views. So let's do the first one, which is obviously, I want to be able to upload file. I'm just gonna move that. So first thing here, I wanted to check if the request method is post. And also the request object carries also files, and there are keys that it passes, which comes from the template URL, which I've called fun. So I'm just gonna quickly show here some if statement. So if I go, it's gonna crash now, but if I go on the templates, upload file, can you see on input file, when it's a post, when I post my form, that key will capture the content of the file object in Django. So if I go here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna print that object here, and just to show you in the console. Let's see, I think there's a name property. Let me see how it works. Let's say this one, Ben01, upload, and then it logged on the console, Ben01. Right, so let's now do what we need to do. First, I wanted to start this file in a variable, which is obviously that one. So if an exists a file, so that one was done, that one was done. So also I wanted to work with check extension later, and also record that in the database. So I wanted to record that in the database. First I want to do the file name, which is going to be file name, and the extension is going to be file name, and I'm going to use the path that I imported on top here. So path, it's a standard library Python, and there is, to get extension is easy, you just get a suffix. So that's done. Now I'm going to write this function, which is that one there, that I'm importing from the Azure file controller module. So which is called upload file to blob, and then that takes one argument, which is the file itself. All right, and then later that's gonna return another file object, the Django file object. So let's write this one. I'm just gonna, okay, let's navigate to that function. Didn't work. It's F12. Oh, it's not working. I'm just gonna go manually. Okay, cool. Which one? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna put that one. I'm just gonna delete that pass. And first I need to, I'm receiving that file object. I'm just gonna do a file name that I will use later, and that's file name. So I wanted to create a prefix for that file name, which I'm going to use this UUID for, and I'll put that into a hex text, and I'll call this I'll put prefix, and I'll also get the extension of the file, and that's gonna be path, I could have done directly, probably I'll do that. So just gonna put that, and that's suffix. And the blob, I think it's blob name, is going to be the string of prefix, prefix, and then extension. And then the reason I explained earlier, I wanted to have a unique identifier for that file in Azure, and I'm going to associate that to a file name. That's the original file name of the file, and then I'll store that in the database. So I'm just going to do that. So that's done. So store file content in a variable, which is I'll call it like file IO, which I'm gonna store in bytes IO object, like a file, and that is the file, and then read. There's a read property. I'm just gonna read the content and store into that file IO. Yeah, that's the one. Now I'm gonna instantiate that blob client here, which is a function, and then it takes the file name, which is the blob name, if you like. Create blob client. I'm just gonna call blob client, and then create blob client, and then I'm just gonna call pass the blob name, which is I'm gonna instantiate a blob in Azure, and then I'll be able, with that object here, upload, download, do whatever I want with that blob. And in this case, because it uploads, I'm going to then blob client. There is a method called upload, and then I pass data as an argument, and then I pass the file IO, right? And then I'm going to save that to a DB, the metadata, just the URL at this stage, and then I return to my view function that object to complete the metadata recording, which is in the other function. So let's quickly write this save file to DB. So I'm going to create a new file variable, which is from my model file, and I use the object and then create, and then I'm just gonna pass one argument when I create, which is the file URL equals file URL. Cool. And then I'm just going to save it and return. So new file, save, and return. Cool. That's done. Save. So far so good. And then I'm going to use that function that I've just done, which is save file to DB. I'm gonna pass the blob client URL, and that's gonna return the file object, and then I'm gonna return that, and that save to DB, return file object. And then there is a still to do here. I'll do that later, which is check file extension. So let's finalize our view and test it. So this file object, I'm just not going to save the rest of the, I'm just going to save the file name, which is equals file name, and file object file extension. I don't know if I think it's spelling correctly. Extension. So upload file. Which I've done, and save to the DB. Now I'm gonna use Django messages a success, and then I have to pass the request, and the message is going to be I'm just gonna pass an F string. It's going to be file uploaded successfully, and that's gonna be the file name. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to, because I have two routes here, one is the natural one, and then the one is the if statement one, and that's it. Cool. I think that's it. Let's test it. Let's go back to here, choose a file. Let's upload this photo. Hope it doesn't break. Yeah, it worked. And then if I go here, the file should be one of those two, the one that was on the 23, this one. If I download, file is here. Okay, let's continue with the app. I'm going to now list the files, which is very straightforward. In Django, you just fetch that from the database. You can see that it has been saved on the database. If I refresh here, that's the photo has been here. It's done. Oh, I think I make a mistake, because that one hasn't, I haven't saved it. That's a problem. Let's do it. I should have saved this one. File, object, save. Now, let's try another one. Alright, that's gonna be a problem later, but oh, just upload that one. Declaration of Independence. Let's go to DB. Yeah, now it's working correctly. Let's make sure that the list file works. I'm going to. There will be a problem because there will be one file without name, but no problem because we're just developing. It's completely normal. So I'm going to do that, which is files, which is a models from Django, file objects. I'm going to filter because I'm going to exclude the one that has been deleted. I want to be deleted equals 0. And then I create like a context object, which is a dictionary, and the key is false, and the content of it is false. Oops. And then I pass that here. Should work. If I go back here, ta-da, but that's the problem, doesn't work. The download and delete doesn't work yet. So let's make it work. First one, let's do the download. So what I need to do here, I have to load the metadata, which I got from the file, same Django model, models, and then file, objects. Then I'm gonna use the get method, which is gets a one object, which I have the primary key, which I'm passing on the parameter of the URL. If you inspect that, I have, can you see, I'm getting the file 12 on that one, and on that one here is 13. And then I'm writing it here on the template using Django templates. If you see, I've got a 12 and 13. I'm just fetching that metadata. So what I'm gonna do is, I've done that. I'm gonna have the file name equals file name. Now I'm gonna use this Python built-in function called mime types, and I'm gonna guess the type of that, which is file name, and I'm just call it file type. That's done. And then I'm assigning the URL to a variable, which is it's on the database, which is file URL thing. Let me just print out to that the console file type and also URL. Just gonna check it. Let's see if it's working. Let's see if I go download. Ooh. OS path flag object. It's a non-type. What I'm doing here, let me just have a look. Did a bit of a debugging here. I think there'll be a problem not have a file name here. What I'm gonna do is probably I have to manually delete that one to fix that bug. Because I'm relying on this mime type here to parse the file name. I'm just gonna keep doing it. So that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. If I click on the other one, should be alright. Because this one is none, there's no file name, but if I click that one, I'm gonna get the name, and then this one returns a list. And then I'm gonna unpack that and throw away that variable, which is gonna be okay. I'm just gonna, in order to fetch the data from the blob, I need to get the file name, which is coming from the URL. But actually, I think I can use the file name because the file name itself is the blob. I'm not using any path to that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, actually, I think I can fix that one. If I use that and the file URL, I can get the blob name. Just gonna do a bit of a change in my code here, which is the URL split. Just gonna split on that, and then I'm just gonna get the last one, last string, and then I'm gonna just see if it's a blob name, because actually it checks based on an extension. It doesn't matter what comes before. I'm just gonna delete that one, and then now I have the blob name, which is this one. Now save the blob content in a variable. I think that one is later. I first need to create the instance of the blob, which is the download blob. Download blob. Let's write this one. Download blob. Alright, which is gonna get let me just think about it. Let's just go back to my Azure file controller, which is a download blob. I need to get the file name correct. Yeah, I got the blob name that I want to download, and now I'm gonna go to that function and write it. Okay, let's do it. So that one is, we've done that before. We do the blob client, which is the create blob client, and then the name is the file, which I'm receiving from the other function. And that's as simple as blob client download blob. Check if blob does not exist. There is a method called what I'm just gonna okay. So what I'm gonna do, like download blob, I'm just gonna do that and call it blob content. But before downloading, I'm just gonna check if there is if that exists. There's a method called exists. So I call it if not exists. I'm just gonna return that, and then I can use that return. Otherwise, I return the blob content. Right, so that's basically it. Now let's go back. I've done that one. Let's go back to the view and finish that off. So second, back to the views. So download blob, and then I'll say I'll call it blob. Call it blob. That's done. It's done. Just check one thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna do like, because I'm gonna go on a different route if there is a blob. So I'd say if blob, the blob exists, not block. And then I'm going to then return that response that download the file. I'm just going to start that into a, call it response. And then that's a Django class, which is called HTTP response. And that one, I'm just going to add to that the, just going to get some reminder here. I'm just gonna put the blob, and what I'm gonna put here is the actual binary data, which is gonna, there's a method called read all from the Azure object that returns from downloads, and then the content content type equals file type, which I saved in this variable here. And then to finalize, I'm just gonna add to the response object dictionary, something called content disposition. I'll send you the link of a blog that explains that better. And then I'm just gonna append an f string with attachment as an attachment. That's gonna be the method that I'm going to download the file, and the file name equals just gonna put the. That's a problem because I put the file name that I never store here because I had that bug. So sorry about this. I'm just gonna call it here. File name equals file. At least we'll kind of try to get rid of that file. At least I can download the file, but the file name is gonna be none. That's done. Done. And then if that file hasn't found, I'm just gonna, instead of that, I'm just gonna return 44 HTTP 44. Cool. I think this is gonna work. Let's check. If I download, just get rid of this. If I download that one, it's not working. I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm just going to return a response, obviously, and then this one. That should work. Download. Yeah, it's here. It's working. So just to complete here, I'm just gonna put a message, which is success, and then that's gonna be requests, and I'm just gonna be file, file name, downloaded successfully. Okay, cool. Let's test it. What's happening? Did I save it? It's not working. For some reason it's not showing here. Probably I'll debug that later, because if I go here, the messages show here, and then I have got that none file. At least it's working download. Let's implement now the delete and finish with that one. So the delete file is pretty simple because we are not actually deleting from Azure. So what we are actually doing is we just like changing that flag to 1, and that's pretty easy. So what I do is I first bring the file here, which is models file, and then objects, and then I will do the same thing. I will do the get method, which is file, no, it's pk primary key equals file ID. And what I do is just go file, delete it, equals to 1. And this time I'm gonna save it. And that's all. And then I just redirect and then should be all right. And then it's gonna be a 1 in the database, and it's not going to display on the UI, which is gonna be pretty easy. Gonna be bang, bang, done. So we've implemented everything. So I think the video is a bit too long. I can implement now this file extension that we can quickly implement, which will allow, at the moment I can upload any file, any extension, any size, nothing, everything, sorry. So I'm just gonna, I've got these allowed extensions. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna get the check file extension, which is kind of the file path, and then I'm just gonna put that into a variable, and then I'm just gonna go path, and that's the suffix, and then I'm just gonna return, if true, return extension in allowed extensions, and then if that's gonna evaluate true, returns true, otherwise we'll return false. And then we can use that in two places, not in one place, which is here. I'm going to say if I think it's check file extension, and I would say if not, if it's false, and then return, otherwise do the thing. So not even allow them to upload. And then on my view, yeah, just gonna do that. I'm gonna say when it tried upload, I can import that function here and implement. There are two ways to do it, but I'm just gonna do it this way. So I'd say if not file object, oops, which is return a false, I would say message, I would say warning, so I'll pass the request, and the message is going to be extension is not allowed, so please use only, I would say, I've already applied. So let's see if it works. Upload file. Let's try JPEG, which is not on that list. Oh, object has no attribute file name. I know what it is. I need to return that. The problem is here. I need to return that, and then send a message. I don't think it should be alright. Let's try. Yeah. Oh, I think I need to fix that one. So let's try again. That one is working. I'm just gonna put that into a string. Just gonna put single quotes, a comma, and then I use the join method, which is gonna join elements of that string inside brackets, and that should be alright. Let's do this. Done. Ooh, what happened? My app crashed. Oh yeah, my app string crashed my app. Oh, I don't need that. What's going on? App string. Oh, I can do that. I think I'm missing that. Should be right now. Crash my server. Okay, let's try again. Done, done, done. Yay! Alright, I think now with that, I would complete the app. I'm just gonna stop the video because it's already 42 minutes. Sorry about this. I was a bit slower, but thanks for that. I'm gonna put in the link the my GitHub, and then you can download and etc. I'm gonna do a demo. I'm just doing a dry run because I'm gonna do a demo in a meetup on Friday. So that's it, and this video is kind of the fallback, and thanks for that. I haven't added like catch exceptions and handling error. I just wanted to show you how the happy path works and how easy it is to implement in Django, Azure, and it's pretty easy. And if you have any questions, just put the comments on the video. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.